This is a breaking news alert from 24-Hour News 8.
Breaking news now at 11. A Michigan State police trooper gunned down, shot in the head during a traffic stop. 2 suspects then arrested during a gunfight.
This is all happening to our north in Mason County. The trooper was shot at 6:20 during a traffic stop near Free Soil. About 2 hours later, police arrested 2 suspects in Manistee County. There was an exchange of gunfire there.
We have crews working both scenes. We want to start, though, with 24-Hour News 8's Tom Hillen live in Mason County, where that trooper was shot tonight. Tom?
Brian and Susan, want to start by letting you know that that trooper is in critical condition. He was airlifted from the scene here to a hospital. I want to show you, step out of the way here, we do still have an active scene going on here in northern Mason County. The traffic stop happened down there where you can see those lights still flashing. We are several hours into this investigation, and Michigan State Police tell me they expect this to go well into the night. After that Michigan State police officer was shot in the head, the suspect then took off, leaving the trooper sitting in the road wounded for about 4 minutes.
A passerby came upon him and called the police, which got us heading in the right direction.
MSP really thanking that passerby, and it was several hours later that those 2 suspects were arrested in a town called Dublin. It's not too far from where we are. What we have been able to learn about the trooper is that he is a seasoned veteran with Michigan State Police, and although we don't know the reason the car was initially pulled over, we do know that the trooper radioed it in as a normal traffic stop at that time. Right now, police are releasing very little information about the suspects, saying that it is very early on in their investigation. The lieutenant said that this is a very trying time for everyone involved, especially for the law enforcement community, and he is asking for everyone to keep the trooper and his families in their prayers. So again, a Michigan State police trooper in critical condition tonight after being shot in the head here in northern Mason County, and those 2 suspects are in custody at this time. Brian and Susan.
New tonight, we are hearing from the uncle of the suspect in the shooting death of a state trooper in Mason County. The suspect's uncle had a personal protection order against him, saying that he feared for his life. State Police Trooper Paul Butterfield was shot during a traffic stop northeast of Ludington last night. The suspects, a husband and his young pregnant wife, were arrested just 2 hours later in Manistee County. Police say they don't know why they would have shot the trooper. We have confirmed that the suspect's father, a retired police officer, is missing a handgun from his home, although police have not told us what type of weapon was used to kill the trooper. Tonight, we do have team coverage for you. Danny Carlson went to Trooper Butterfield's hometown to talk with those who know him. We start with Tom Hillen, though. He spoke with suspect Eric Nice's uncle about why he took out that personal protection order.
Nice's uncle said that Eric lived with him for a number of months earlier this year, and during that time period there was an altercation in which Eric allegedly broke his finger and further threatened him, leading his uncle to take out that personal protection order.
He's had some brushes with law, but he's turning his life around. And I just don't understand really what happened.
Despite having his own physical encounter with his nephew, Matt Nice says he couldn't believe it when he found out it was his nephew, Eric, that was involved in the shooting death of Trooper Paul Butterfield.
Did you ever think he was capable of doing something like this?
I know Eric had an anger management problem, but not to this point.
That alleged anger problem spelled out in a PPO taken out by Nice against his nephew. In a written statement, Nye said Eric, quote, assaulted me and has threatened to do more bodily harm in the future. He goes on to say, quote, he has access to several guns and I am afraid for my life.
There's one incident, you know, it was not like a normal thing that happened. I don't really foresee him as being a very violent person all the time, you know. He has his problems.
Still, Nye says he is shocked.
For someone from family to do something like that, it's unbelievable.
A feeling echoed by Eric's father as well.
This is not a surprise, this is a shock.
Nice's uncle said that he, along with the rest of his family, would like to extend their deepest condolences to Trooper Butterfield's family. As for Nice, we're hearing he remains in a hospital tonight after being shot in the leg during a shootout with police in Dublin last night. We are also hearing that he and his wife could be arraigned on charges as early as tomorrow. If that does happen, we will be there and bring you complete coverage. In Baldwin tonight, Tom Hillen, 24-Hour News 8.
He walked up to the window, started to ask, like, how's it going? And then I heard the gunshot. My husband pulled away, and I looked behind, and I saw the trooper laying in the road and a bunch of blood.
He never had a chance. Trooper Paul Butterfield was shot even before he finished his sentence. Just one of the startling admissions Sarah Nyes made while pleading guilty just hours ago in Mason County.
Her husband is Eric Nyes. He's the one accused of pulling the trigger, gunning Trooper Paul Butterfield down during a traffic stop in September. Another bombshell from Sarah. Eric's mother knew what he did before she helped her son find a getaway car.
And Sarah says the runaway couple stopped at a friend's to get marijuana before police caught up with them in Manistee County. 24-Hour News 8's Leon Hendricks is live with more on this emotional testimony. Leon?
Yes, Sarah's plea came as part of a deal with prosecutors. The prosecutor says that Sarah, in exchange for her plea, will not have charges brought against her in Manistee County, which is where everything ended up when Sarah and Eric Nyes were both captured before being brought to jail. So still a very emotional hearing in court. State police troopers were there, some of them tearful as Sarah described what happened that night. Listen to what she said as the judge questioned her about what happened and her description, really, of just how quick everything transpired.
He walked up to the window, started to ask, like, how's it going? And then I heard the gunshot.
All right, was there a conversation about to take place with your husband and the trooper?
Just the trooper asking how it was going.
And then the shot was
Yes.
immediate?
Yes. Before the trooper finished his sentence.
Okay.
The fear and the shock, and I was almost 7 months pregnant, and I didn't know where we were. And I know that I can't run faster than the car. And I know I definitely can't run faster than a bullet.
And that last piece of testimony there was Sarah giving the answer to the question as to why she didn't run away, why she didn't try to go get help following this. Obviously, she's saying there that she was terrified of what might happen to her. So still lots to go with this case. Sarah has to be sentenced. That is expected to happen in December. And then, of course, the criminal trial of Eric Nyes, presuming he does not enter a plea, is also still ahead. So one other question that came out of this hearing after finding out, at least from Sarah's account, that Eric Nyes' mother seemed to know that the trooper had been shot. Will she face charges? I asked the prosecutor about that this evening. He said he wasn't ready to talk about it. He said it really couldn't comment on it, but certainly seemed to think that that is a distinct possibility still in this case. We'll, of course, continue to follow it. Reporting live in Ludington, Leon Hendricks, 24-Hour News 8.
Tonight, we are learning that a third person is facing charges in connection with the shooting death of Michigan State Police Trooper Paul Butterfield. The mother of alleged killer Eric Nyes is now facing charges. 24-Hour News 8's Ken Kolker spoke to the mom in the days after the shooting, and he's at the live desk with more. Ken?
Yeah, Brian, we learned this afternoon that Nyes' mother, Tammy Spofford, is being charged with auto theft and with being an accessory after the fact in a felony. The charges come about 2 weeks after Eric Nyes' wife, Sarah, pleaded guilty to her role in the murder. During that plea, Sarah Nyes testified about the alleged role that Eric Nyes' mother played. She testified that after the shooting, she and her husband went to his mother's home in nearby Irons. She said her husband told his mother about the shooting. Then all three went in the pickup to steal a car that the Nyes' later used as a getaway vehicle. Now that's not what Eric Nyes' mother told us when we talked to her days after the shooting.
They're basically calling him a cop killer.
They have their point of view. I have my point of view. Which I'm not inclined to say at the moment.
His dad was saying that he called you to come pick up the pickup truck or something when they were getting the car.
Nope.
That didn't happen?
No.
Now, Tammy Spofford is at the Mason County Jail. We're expecting that she'll be arraigned on Tuesday. Live in the newsroom, Ken Kolker, 24-Hour News 8.